you just have to sell your soul.
He may be gone, but he's never ever forgotten. Gabs, what a legend. Hello, welcome, Devil Sniper here, and this is episode number 4 of Season 3, and I've literally just got back from Crystal Palace. They accepted our transfer request for Zaha, which I think is absolutely fantastic. The deal's been all cleared with Kevin Nolan. There is no problem with his personal terms. It's now just down to if we can get Zaha's personal terms bang on, we will have a new player. I did speak to the lad. I had a chat with him after a training session, and he seems in good spirits. He wants to have a challenge, and he wants to come to a club that has a real good family feel to make him feel comfortable, and that's one thing we can definitely offer at West Ham. You know what we're like, boys. We can take him down to the Jaffa Cake factory. We can show him the Jaffa Cake love, and hopefully the little bit of babble that I gave him is enough to convince him to come to the mighty West Ham, but we will have to wait and see. Mbaya is someone I'm really interested in. He's actually got everything for me. He can play left back, he can play right back, he can play centre back, and that's something we really need. Someone who is extremely versatile, and he'll add great depth to the squad. So hopefully we can get him on the cheap. That's my plan. Isco is someone still in my mind. I can't figure out how we're going to get him. We don't have a great deal of money because his value is 9 million. They want a huge amount of money for him, which is understandable. He's a young, talented player. I mean, he's 22 years old. He really does have some fantastic stats. He would fit in the side so wonderfully, but I just don't know how we're going to do it. What I'm going to do is add a player that I really do feel like we should get rid of. Someone who is, I don't know, he's a bit of a moaner, a whiner, a crybaby, He doesn't understand the whole ethics behind squad rotation, which is really frustrating. I know he wants to play every game, but he has to be realistic. He has to understand squad rotation, and hopefully this deal will go through. £5 million plus sterling, equivalents to about 10 million, maybe 11 million if we're lucky. As you saw, I had a look at Hector. I really did like the look of Hector, but the only problem is he's injury prone. I can't afford to have an injury prone player. Really can't afford it. We're gonna let Fabio go for another season. Hopefully he'll grow, and obviously we have a friendly against Barcelona. Gonna sim it. Not really interested in playing the friendlies, to be honest. And look at that. Tompkins suffered a sprained knee, out for 3 weeks. That will teach you for simming the game. Anyway, Aston Villa, give me a call. Speak to the chairman. Nice American chap, and says he wants to make an approach about Raheem Sterling. I tell him quite plainly, we're talking big figures here. We're talking 10 million quid or go away. 3.5 is an insulting offer. Don't waste my time. Zaha comes back and says, I'm happy. I'm happy to accept that contract, which I think is absolutely fantastic. We've just added a really classy player to the team. I'm looking forward to working with him. Sorry to see Kevin go. Really sorry to see Kevin Nolan go, but we brought in a really good young talent, and hopefully that will work out for us. And I've been trying to go for Victor Wanyama. I'm getting that completely wrong. I'm going for Victor basically, and I've tried about 15 different approaches for this lad, and I just can't seem to get it right. The same with Mbaya. They kept coming back and basically saying no. I just couldn't seem to get what they wanted, how they wanted, when they wanted it. It's really difficult negotiations. Really struggling with these negotiations at the moment. Inter Milan aren't very forthcoming with information. They're a bit of a nightmare. A little bit like Chelsea at this current point in time. They made a bit of an interest in Knockhart. So I thought, you know what? I know they're looking to get rid of Josh, and if they're interested in Anthony, then I'll put him up and I'll give him some money, and hopefully that deal will come to fruition. But as I say, Chelsea have not been very forthcoming with information. Ever since we bought Lukaku, they've been very standoffish with negotiations, which is a little bit of a worry, but these things will happen. As you can see, look, Massey, it really does interest me. Same as Stefan. I'd like to bring Bruno into the team, and Michelle. To be honest, I'd love to bring all 4 of the lads in. I'm not too sure about Kurt Zouma. I saw him play at the weekend. He didn't have a great game. He really looked out of sorts. And for me, realistically, if we can get a player, I'll be looking towards Stefan, perhaps Michel. Maybe outside shout would be Bruno. I think Massey's way out of our league. I don't think we can afford him in any stretch of the imagination. And again, as you can see, we simmed the game against Stuttgart, and Adrian picked up a slight injury. Nothing to worry about. He's only going to be out for a few days, so that's nothing to worry about whatsoever. So I wasn't too bothered, which was I was quite thankful, to be honest. And look at this, we received another offer for Raheem Sterling. Definitely a player I want to get rid of. Now, I'm not happy with his attitude. Now, I feel that his attitude at this current point of time would cause issues within our camp, and that's not something I'm willing nor will allow to happen. And it actually turned out to be Manchester United, and they made a realistic offer of 4.2 mil. Now, I'm going to be realistic. Realistically, I only want £7.5 million. If we can get £7.5 million, get him out of the club, I'll be quite happy. And as you can see, Chelsea come back again. It was ridiculous. They came back again, and it just annoys me. It really does annoy me. At last, Mbaya is going to come to the club. I agreed with their director of football, £3 million cash, no player. They're quite happy with that. Hopefully we can get the contract right. Be really interesting. And as you can see, Victor actually wants to come to West Ham. This is really frustrating. But Neil Lennon's playing real hardball with me at the moment. He's given me some indications of value, but they just don't seem to be what his board are actually accepting, which is really frustrating because he has the inside track, which is a little bit annoying. Man United came back with £6 million. I sat down with the board, with DSDG, had a chat to him, explained the situation, you know, that this unrest from Sterling could cause issue with the fans, could cause issues within the ranks. You know, we've just added Zaha to the team, we just added Jesse to the team, and we've just got Lukaku, and obviously we've got Dorian Jean. I think he's going to be destined to be a great player. He's named Dorian, which is one of our tea ladies, and he's named Jean, which is our other tea lady. So they actually think that I picked him up for them, which is fair play. And I actually got a nice cup of tea. I even got a slice of chocolate gatto as well as some Jaffa cakes. I was really dead chuffed. Anyway, that's getting off topic. Sterling has to go. £6 million is not a bad offer. When you consider we picked him up for 1.1 million, we haven't paid him that much in wages. No, this is pure profit. We're looking at around about £4 million as pure hardcore cash profit, which I'm happy to have, to be quite frank. The lad will probably be a great talent. He'll probably leave us and go on to be a great player, but he's just not for our club. He's too much of a crybaby, too much of a whinger, and too disruptive within the ranks. We can't have that. As you know, we have a hardline policy on this. Robbie Brady was the last player to attempt to disrail things within our club, and we didn't stand for it, and we got rid. So that's the way I look at it. You know, we can't have that within our club. We really can't have that in our club. And there's just so many decent players on the actual transfer list at the moment. Now, John Guidetti is one player that really has taken my eye. When I was in Napoli, he had an absolutely cracking game. He really did play well. He scored a couple of goals. Only a pre-season friendly against Brescia. It wasn't nothing serious, but I tell you what, he looked really sharp. He looked really up for it. He looked like he would be a really good team player, and I could see him forming a really good partnership with either Lukaku or Benzia. He's a very intelligent football player. You know, he's very gifted. He can knock the ball over the top. He's got great passing range. That's something that I really did like about him. As you can see, Mbaya didn't like our terms, so I basically upped his wages. I gave him 15 grand a week, gave him a decent clean sheet bonus, and I changed his squad role to important first team player, keeping the 4 years on the contract because I feel that's we want to tie players down for a long period of time. And look, finally we get a price out of Celtic. It's not realistic. I did put a phone call into Neil Lair and said, look, chap, you know, you were telling me 1.5, 2.5. You know, your board wants 3.8 million quid. You could have been upfront and honest with me, and we could have had this sorted out, you know, weeks ago. Anyway, we've got an upcoming game against Tottenham in the Charity Shield. So I'm going to ready the squad, and hopefully we can put in a decent performance. It's going to be tough because they're a decent side. As you know, they're champions last season. We're the FA Cup winners. Not sure if you guys know that we won the FA Cup. But don't panic. Don't worry. I know it's a short video, but there will be a second episode uploaded today for your absolute viewing pleasure. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. You guys' support has been absolutely fantastic. And yeah, I think this is going live at 4. So give it to about 4:30, 4:45, and you will see the second upload. See you later, guys.